Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 132 of the RRBG podcast. This episode is brought to you by our friends in Thunderking Coffee. Go to their website, thunderkingbrewing.com, and check out their selection. They got these awesome Merlot barrel-aged coffee beans called Purple Rain, or you can pick up some bottles of Cold Brew. Check them out. They keep me on my grind. Go to the website, pick up some coffee, and use the promo code RRBG to get 20% off of your purchase. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Saints Joints. Based out of Seattle, they are now considered the Pacific Northwest's go-to pre-roll joint package. They make these incredible little pull tab boxes that contain 5 pre-roll joints. They always feature an artist on the front with incredible artwork. I have the Skinner pack, which is my favorite, and it has this really trippy artwork that he made for them, but they like to feature different artists like Jimbo Phillips or Jeremy Fish. The boxes are so pretty, you want to keep them and use them later in the future to put other joints in. It's incredible. I love sharing them with my friends. I take them to the concerts when I go out. I take them backstage to the Comedy Store and share them with Tony Hinchcliffe. Right now, they're selling over 20 different lab-tested strains, blends, and little variety packs all across Washington, California, and Oklahoma. I highly recommend them. Go check them out. Go to www.saintsjoints.com or find them at one of your local dispensaries in California, Washington, or Oklahoma. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at Hella Hot Hot Sauce. Made by the Colson family out in Santa Clara, California, they've been collaborating with bands like Exhumed and Ghoul and Techno Destructo of Gwar. They're also coming out with a new one with Hatebreed. Check out their selection at HellaHotHotSauce.com. They're like the Ben & Jerry's of hot sauce. In this episode, I talked to Per Nilsson of Meshuggah and Scar Symmetry. I caught up with him live at NAMM, so there's a little bit of background noise, but I had a great conversation with him about Meshuggah, the future of Scar Symmetry, some of his influences, and some of his favorite things to do. I had a great time talking with him, and I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to follow him on social media at Scar Guitar, or catch him on the road with some of the upcoming Meshuggah shows. Cheers. Everyone, and welcome to the RRBG podcast. I'm sitting on the floor here in NAMM in Anaheim, California with Per Nilsson. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Eddie?
How's NAMM been for you so far?
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm pretty hungover today, so maybe a little bit too much fun. But we're releasing my new signature models this year. The brand new Strandberg Singularity.
Nice.
I'm excited about that. That's like the main reason I'm here.
Very cool.
Aside from all the beer, that's the main reason. Well, it's a tie.
Yeah, I mean, NAMM does tend to be a party every once in a while, so.
Yeah. For me, this is like the holiday season.
The holidays, vacation.
Yeah, and it's like I meet everyone that I don't meet the rest of the year, or the people that I meet like on the summer festivals, people I've played with, I've toured with in the past, business associates, friends.
Very cool.
Know, it's just like a big...
Yeah, it's a big reunion.
Big reunion, yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to it every year because everybody flies in, so it's a good chance to hang out and also, get a couple podcast interviews in and everything. Have you seen anything here so far that sticks out that, really called your attention? You haven't seen before?
I haven't really been walking around a lot.
Okay.
I just played the new 14 amp, the Evil Pumpkin.
Evil Pumpkin? Okay.
The Evil Pumpkin. It's a signature model they make for Jason Frankhauser, who's a good friend of mine. And that amp sounded killer. And they also had another, like a small amp that I don't know the name of, that also sounded really good. Like 14 just makes some really cool amps.
That's cool.
So, and then Neural DSP, they have a new amp model out.
Yeah.
That I haven't tried it, but like there's just like tons of buzz around it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that play tech metal, and I've been going to Neural DSP. They have a lot of stuff that's very interesting to me, I think.
Yeah.
So you've been playing with Meshuggah for a little bit now, right?
Yeah, it's 3 years.
3 years,
yeah.
Wow. Is that going to continue, or are you going to keep doing that for the foreseeable future?
I'm gonna do the summer tour with them. We're doing a festival tour in Europe.
Are you doing any writing for the new album at all, or is it? Are you just doing live?
I'm only doing live.
Okay.
They are currently writing for a new album. I've heard a few songs, and they are incredible. Yeah, Morten has a new song that might be like one of my favorite Meshuggah songs ever.
Wow. Okay. So, yeah, I mean they always step it up. Every new album, it's just like even crazier. The last album with the live recordings was just mind blowing to me.
Oh yeah.
You know, and how hard was it for you to adjust to learn all those songs for the tours? Like, was it was it a lot of work, or?
It wasn't too difficult actually, because I've spent like my entire life playing like crazy stuff.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I've dabbled around with things like polymeter, an 8-string guitar before.
Yeah.
So nothing was really, you know, difficult to wrap my head around. But having that said, I mean the songs are often very dense. It's like there's like a lot of musical information in the songs, and there's a lot of patterns and stuff to remember, and it requires a certain kind of focus to execute the songs. But to actually learn the songs was pretty easy. But then it takes time to really get into the songs and start groove with them.
Yeah, and I've seen some videos of you live that you've been doing a little bit of your improvisation on top of it. Yeah. So they've been cool with letting you do whatever, you know, in terms of that.
When I joined and I did my first rehearsal with Hatebreed Fredrik on he did the rhythm guitar, and I played lead on that rehearsal.
Wow.
Because he was the one who was in the studio at the time, and Morten was somewhere else. And we rehearsed and tried the songs, and then I asked Fredrik, what do you think I should do with the solos? Should I pick up something or what you do, or should I just improvise? Because he improvises his solo when they play live. So he told me that he thought I should do whatever I wanted to do. Like, so he supported, you know.
That's cool. That's cool.
So what I do is I sometimes, you know, pick up something of what he played, like when I play the Bleed solo or the solo for Future Breed Machine, I often start on the same note, like that he does on the album, you know, to start the solo off in the right mood.
Yeah.
And then I sort of use the same scales and modes that he used, but I do my own thing with them.
That's really cool.
So I try to do, you know, I try to treat it the way I would like to hear it if I, as a fan, you know. Sure. If there was someone else who got the gig and I was in the audience.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
In terms of Scar Symmetry, have you thought about new music for that, or are you just kind of?
Oh yeah, we're deep into recording a new album.
Okay.
And it's been in the works for several years actually.
Okay.
Like I wrote the album maybe 3 years ago.
And is this kind of like interfering because you have to go on tour, or are you working on it while you're on tour?
Well, not when I'm on tour. I do work on it in between tours. But at the time when I got the Meshuggah gig, I was in a space where I felt like I wanted a little bit of time off from Scar Symmetry.
Okay.
I mean, after doing the band for like 13 years or so, I felt like I needed some time off. So I started touring with Nocturnal Rites, and then I started touring with Meshuggah, which was unexpected, but that happened. So that made me like drift away from Scar Symmetry for a while, which for me was really good because it's like reignited my love for my own band.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward. I mean, you said you've been working on it for a few years. Do you have like a time frame when that's going to be done, maybe, or that you want it to be done?
It's really close to be finished. There's some like odd overdubs and backing vocals left to do, but well, I'm almost there. So it's out in 2020 for sure.
That's cool. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about your guitar. You got the Strandberg. What do you say to some of the traditional guitar players that, you know, don't like the style of those guitars with no headstock and like kind of modifying the fretboard so it's a little more like easier for you to play, but you know?
Yeah, I mean the electric guitar has been, I mean, pretty much the same since the inception of it.
Yeah.
I mean, not that much has happened to like pickup technology and the actual design and construction of the guitar. But in the past 2 years, like there's been some people showing up on the scene, like Strandberg.
Yeah.
Ola Strandberg is probably like the biggest pioneer of this thing, where people try to come up with new things to bring the electric guitar into a new era, and this, like, solve problems that people haven't, you know, they didn't want to recognize even, like the intonation problems of a guitar, for example, and like the Strandberg, they are headless, and also the body shape is there's like pieces of wood that is carved out from how a Strat looks, and that is to make the guitar more lightweight, like first and foremost, and which makes it much like less stressful for your back and your shoulders.
Yeah. People don't realize how much work like your back goes through on stage, especially if you have to rock out a little bit, you know, back and forth.
And people have this like preconceived notion that a guitar has to be heavy to sound good, to have sustain, like a Les Paul that, you know, weighs 12 pounds or so. And the Strandberg guitars proves that it's simply not true. You can have a lightweight instrument that's like every bit as resonant and full sounding, or even more full sounding than the traditional guitars.
Yeah, and in that kind of innovation, are you a fan of, you know, like the axe effects and stuff like that, where it's not as analog, it's not tube amps and stuff, you know, because a lot of people complain that it's not real or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of modeling technology. I mean, since the start of it.
Yeah.
I had an old Zoom, like the half-rack gray little Zoom that came out like in the early 90s. I used that a lot for like porta cassette demos, like 4-track that I did back then. And I love the fact that I could, you know, be in my little bedroom studio and just plug things in, and maybe it didn't sound like a really good amp that was mic'd up, but when you live in an apartment, and nowadays when the technology has evolved to things like sounding, you know, uncannily like the original, sometimes maybe even surpassing the original tube amps, because you don't have to deal with noise, stuff like that. You have a consistent sound, nothing changes. So I'm a big fan of that now, and you can travel with a rig that fits like
makes it a lot
in your
easier.
gig bag.
Yeah, it's a matter of convenience, and as the technology gets better and better, eventually it'll be, you know, indistinguishable, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I still love plugging into a tube amp, have some pedals, you know, and blast the amp in the room, and have that immediate connection to your sound. I really like that as well. Yeah. But I'm just never gonna carry a 4x12 to a show anymore. Like that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah. And so you're known for your like technical metal, and is there any bands that you listen to that aren't really in that realm, like kind of like a guilty pleasure?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't listen to a lot to metal music these days.
Well, okay.
Because it's my day job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
you don't
what I do.
You don't want to overdo it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I'm sometimes I hear stuff that I really dig. You know, there's a lot of cool bands out there.
You have a couple you listen to recently?
What's that?
You have a couple that you recently listened to?
I always like the Black Dahlia Murder.
Okay, well, but that's metal still. I mean outside of metal. What are you listening?
Oh, outside of metal.
Yeah.
The thing that I've been listening to a lot lately that's not metal at all is Jacob Collier.
Okay.
And anyone listening to this who doesn't know who that is, just Google Jacob Collier and
okay.
your life will be changed forever.
Okay.
It's this British wonder kid who's like super genius young musician, and he plays every possible instrument.
Okay.
Like he's got a bunch of albums out. He's like he gets praised from Herbie Hancock, Quincy Jones, Steve Vai.
Oh wow, okay.
Chick Corea, like the best musicians in the world are at this kid's feet. So.
Very cool, very cool. If you were to get another gig, like the Meshuggah gig, is there like a fantasy group that you want to play with?
Oh man, I think Meshuggah is probably like the fantasy gig.
That's obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I don't know. It would be nice to do something that wasn't metal for a bit.
Yeah. More like a jazzy. Would you be more into jazz or
maybe something like that? Something more jammy. Like
okay.
Something with more improv.
Well, you have the look for like a stoner doom metal band too, like a slow, sludgy. You can pull it off with the look.
Yeah. Yeah. Have an old fuzz pedal.
All right. You can make that work.
That would be cool. Yeah, for sure.
Is there something you like doing on tour that's like before you set up and everything? Like, do you go to look for restaurants? Do you go to breweries?
Yeah.
Or like
I go out. I go out to a street corner and try to score some drugs. Well,
is it usually successful or?
No. No. I just look weird and white. Like people are like, "Are you a cop?"
Yes. Excuse me, young man. Do you have drugs?
Are you a cop or are you a dad?
Do you have so you say you're hungover? So what's your drink of choice?
IPAs.
IPAs.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I mean I love all kinds of beers, but IPA is usually what I go for when I go out somewhere.
Yeah. And I really love it to see that the IPA thing, or like the craft beer, good beer thing has like really exploded here in the US.
Yeah.
Remember like the first when I did my first tour in the US, like the first 10 years of touring, everywhere it was just like crap beer.
Yeah.
Or like beer that doesn't taste anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Now there's
like
a brewery everywhere. Yeah.
And you go into any like restaurant or pub and there's like two different lagers.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's a good selection.
Yeah.
Everywhere, and people are really interested in it.
Yeah, and usually now, like any venues that you play, like a block or two away, there's a brewery or there's a pub house with like 20 or 30 taps.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So
I love that.
Yeah, man. Do you have any other hobbies that you do outside of music?
I've always been big into cooking.
Cooking.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's maybe my favorite pastime. Yes.
What are your like? You have any chefs that you follow or you like?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I watch a lot of like YouTube cooking things and
okay.
Like look at what people does, and for inspiration. Even though I never follow a recipe, when I cook, because to me cooking is a form of it's composition.
Yeah.
It's like writing a tune.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like art. You have to add your own little bit to it.
I get inspired, I have some ingredients, and then I try to figure out, like come up with something, maybe something I've never done before, or like try new combinations, try new techniques.
Very cool. Well, hey, I'm going to let you go. I know you have another interview.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'd like to get you on the like a longer format version of the show at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll contact you on Facebook or whatever.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Follow on social media for you.
My social media?
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
And on YouTube and Instagram. I'm called Scar Guitar.
All
And then also follow my bands, Scar Symmetry, Nocturnal Rites, Kaipa, and Meshuggah, of course.
Of course. All right, I look forward to seeing more work from you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Cheers.